We just had a really nice day in the stock market, and a lot of stocks were up, including some quantum stocks. And Nike reported earnings today, and we're going to look at Nike. We're going to look at SoFi. We're going to look at Arqit Quantum. We're going to look at IonQ, which had an 8% day, and one that I've never talked about on this channel before, but one that I really like and I'm invested in is Rocket Lab. And some two bonus stocks I'm sure a lot of you are tracking closely, BigBear.ai and SealSQ. And we're going to do all of this in 15 to 20 minutes, so I better get right into it. So the markets were really strong today with the S&P up 0.8%, the Dow up almost 1%, the NASDAQ up another percent, and the Russell up 1.7%. A lot of the stocks we talk about on this channel are in the Russell, and the Russell has been having a nice little recovery because it's been down for quite a while. Looking at the stock heat map, everything is pretty green, with Meta having an impressive 2.4% day. Broadcom continues to have good momentum. Amazon is getting some love, and Nvidia, after a 4% day, is still posting gains. So the market in general is very strong right now, with a lot of optimism and a lot of bullishness throughout the market. Now we're over at our quantum watch list, and as we can see, everything is green on the watch list except for poor D-Wave and Amgen. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, but LAES had a 16% day out of nowhere. It was pretty flat, and then suddenly it just exploded. SkyWater had some recent news, and SkyWater is the chip fabricator, an onshore chip fabricator, and they make the chips for D-Wave. Is one of the things they do. 10% day, and this stock was down at around $6 in April when I first started looking at them and investing in them. IonQ had an 8% day, which I believe eclipsed. It was down quite a bit yesterday. We're going to look at the chart, and ARQQ, Arqit Quantum, was up again, and we can see that QNCCF, Quantum Emotion, had back-to-back positive days. So this penny stock is starting to gain some pretty good momentum. So last night on the channel, for the first time, I brought up Nike. And the reason I brought up Nike to you all so that you had an opportunity to think about it and potentially make a position, because what I was seeing is that we could buy Nike literally on the day of earnings at 2017, 2018 prices. Like, literally think of all the inflation that we have gone through to that point, and we were able to pick up shares today before earnings. We know that there's this turnaround story that's happening with Nike with the new CEO, and they did come out with a double beat. So in extended hours for Nike, what we're seeing is we jumped from $62 to almost $68, and at the peak of this aftermarket rally, it was an 11% gain. So why did this happen? Well, there's this Reuters article that I'll read to you. So in their earnings call, Nike said it would cut its reliance on production in China to mitigate the impact from US tariffs on imports, and forecast a smaller drop in first quarter revenue than expected by analysts, sending its shares up 11% in extended trading. So this stock, the expectations were on the absolute floor, which made it very appealing to pick up some 2027 leaps, which I have 2027 leaps. And also I did pick up more shares today. And so far that's looking like it's going to be a decent trade, and hopefully Nike can continue their momentum and their turnaround story. Let's take a look at IonQ. So IonQ is one of the stronger quantum pure plays. And if we're just looking all the way back to May, there's kind of this long drawn out bull flag that we're starting to see. So we're seeing some coiling, some consolidation. I'm just drawing out that flag for you, but we're seeing essentially what happens when price starts to consolidate is we see explosive movements, and we've seen that IonQ is capable of moving explosively. So I'm very bullish on IonQ, especially since their acquisition of Oxford Ionics and LightSync. I'm going to put that, I did a deep dive on this and it was like a 15-20 minute video. I'm going to put the image on the screen so you guys can find that video if you want to go back on my videos and take a look and learn about that acquisition and why I got so bullish on this company. But if we just look back to April and to now, we've seen 122% gain on this ticker. And I actually think that IonQ, sooner rather than later, is going to want to start looking at retesting its all-time highs. And so we're in this area. So let's just call this zone 1. Then we have zone 2 and zone 3. So we've been in zone 1 for a couple weeks. And I think what in my base case, I think we're going to move up at least into the 44 to 48, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get into zone 3 and we start to use 48 as support and then start pushing, where if we get above that 54.68, that would be all-time highs. Now in a bearish case, I see it coming below 39 and retesting the support, which has held up IonQ multiple times at this 36.38. So it could retest. And in a base case, we just continue chopping around and maybe consolidating even further until that next leg up. So I'm very bullish on IonQ for a number of reasons. I'm really liking how the chart is setting up. Let's take a look at SoFi. SoFi, probably one of the most undervalued stocks in the entire stock market, is finally getting the respect it deserves. And going back all time for SoFi, we've been talking about these 25, 26, 28 price points when SoFi first hit the market. And then it flushed down and got into the sub 8, 5 to 8 position. And it's just really needed some time to build this momentum, build the earnings. They're making more money. They just introduced crypto back on the platform, and the company has incredible revenues. We talk about quantum companies a lot, and I know we all love quantum companies and what the potential is with quantum and the technology, but SoFi is just simply making a lot of money. And I believe for the last 16 quarters, they've beat on their revenue. So this is a company that I'm not actually looking at this recent $18, which was their recent 52-week high. I'm looking more back here at where I think SoFi is going. And if we just trace that out, that would look like something like a 49% or more move from this point. And that would be obviously a very bullish case. It could also come up to 18 and reject and start to build some price history above this 1461. That is also possible until we get into the next earnings with SoFi. But SoFi is looking really good, bullish price action almost every day. If we look at the 5-day chart, it's just a march up. We've seen a 14% move from below $15 to almost $17. And even in the post market, this ticker is still running. So lots of volume and lots of bullishness on SoFi. All right, Arqit Quantum. So I have the year chart pulled up, and Arqit is one of those companies that is just going to become more and more important. So the most recent piece of news from Arqit, of course, is that they've joined Oracle, another very hot stock, software stock in the Oracle defense ecosystem, a first of its kind global initiative to redefine the delivery of defense and government technology innovation at the Oracle Defense Tech Summit. Arqit's inclusion in this cohort recognizes its pioneering role in securing mission-critical infrastructure against advanced cyber threats, including those posed by quantum computing. Arqit's participation positions it to expand the deployment of the SKA platform, symmetric key agreement platform, a quantum-safe technology used to protect data in motion, in process, and at rest, into new territories and alliances within Oracle's defense ecosystem. So what we're going to kind of infer from that is that Oracle is going to help Arqit make sales and get customers, and Oracle has a vast network, the ability to sell stuff, and Arqit has a service. So it's a match made in heaven, and there's been a big rally since that news. And if we're just looking even since May, so we're just talking the last month, This stock has gone from $15. It's gone all the way up to 45, and it's kind of hanging out up here at 165% gain with a lot of volume. And if we look historically back, it's sort of retracing that quantum euphoria type of situation. So this is when all quantum stocks, when everyone was just excited about quantum, but people still weren't really educated or informed. So they didn't know what these companies were doing or if they were going to earn money, or they were just buying them to have them. Now with retail and institutions becoming more informed and educated about quantum, these stocks are starting to build up their value again. And the only thing that really sent Arqit down in the past was investors getting spooked by what Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia, had said, that quantum is 15 or 20 years away. And now we hear him saying that we are at an inflection point with quantum. So the narrative has changed very quickly. Jensen's changed his opinion on this. And now we're seeing that these quantum stocks and these quantum pure plays are really starting to take on a life of their own. So this chart and the price look similar to IonQ to me, except that there's this one tiny detail. Arqit used to trade at up to $1,000 a share, and it was above $400 a share for $300, $400 a share for quite a while. Now, there might have been reverse splits and that type of thing, but there was a time not so long ago, within the last half decade, where this stock was a $300, $500, $600, $700, $800 stock. And right now it can be picked up for $40 a share, but people are moving in, buyers are moving in, buyers are piling in. I have a small position with Arqit, and I'm excited to see what the company does and how the revenues play out with the Oracle ecosystem. All right, let's take a look at Rocket Lab. So I haven't talked about Rocket Lab before on the channel. I'm sure a lot of you know what they are, but Rocket Lab is an end-to-end space company with an established track record of mission success. They deliver reliable launch services, spacecraft components, satellites, and other spacecraft. In October of 24, the stock was trading around $11. All time, the stock is at an all-time high right now. I just want to be very clear on that. And we've had some beautiful, beautiful volume and candles come in recently. And we saw that tariffs kind of pushed Rocket Lab down, but Rocket Lab is doing what it does best. It's rocketing up. And is this a company? So the question that I have to ask myself, is this a company where we're just seeing kind of this chart beginning, and this is something where it's going to continue to go up? And I invest in Rocket Lab in multiple accounts. I think that Rocket Lab is an awesome company and they're doing great work. I am not a Rocket Lab expert or nerd at all. I just wanted to bring up Rocket Lab because it had a great day in the market today. And if you all are interested in different plays or that type of thing, you can see that there is a lot of bullishness and volume in the price action. So Rocket Lab, very, very nice performance in the stock market. All right, so we're almost to our closing time for the video. I'm actually going to put out a second video tonight. I don't do that every night, but there's going to be a video specifically all about BigBear and LAES because they both had incredible day in the stock market. We're just going to quickly look at both of them in the chart. So LAES today had a lot of volume come in and they pushed up above this 456. So we've talked about 388 a lot. Maybe we can stop talking about 388. Probably not. 388 will probably come back into a play somehow. But we bounced off of 388, and now we're up at this 456. Is 456 the new 388? Well, 456 historically has been a spot where we have seen rejections, and we actually saw it today. If we get in really close, I can show you exactly. So this gray line here, this 456, for the day traders, momentum traders, swing traders, 456 does look like a really important level. for LAES. What's after 456? The next big level is 516. Rejections, mostly rejections at 516. So keep those levels on your radar as LAES makes these big moves. And another key thing is LAES has made a higher high in this rally. So it's looking quite bullish still. All right, Big Bear, save the best for last. Big Bear has been really impressive and it's been a little bit bipolar. So this week on Monday, it exploded like 25% and then it dumped like 10% in the most Big Bear way possible. Then it exploded again today. I think we had, what did we have today? A 20% day again on Big Bear with sustained volume. And I'm gonna put out a video with more details about the company and what I want y'all to kind of keep in mind with Big Bear is we don't have a lot of resistance. We're starting to get into the area where we're just maybe gonna want to wander back up. And now the retail traders and momentum traders are in control. The shorts are getting fried on this stock and it looks like it wants to run. But I just want to remind everyone that the last time it did this, it did sharply sell off very quickly. This was leading into the tariffs and market uncertainty, and it did flush down. So just keep that in mind, set stop losses, protect yourself. All right, guys. So we actually just did 7 stocks in less than 20 minutes. Efficiency is the name of the game here. So if you like content like this, leave a like. If you want to, subscribe if you want to see more of this. And I hope you all are doing well in the market, and we'll see you in the next one.